Prime Minister Narendra Modi and
Great
President
pleasure
MOUs speaking. Let's listen in.
And his delegation to the Maldives. The Prime Minister's visit coincides with two cherished occasions. Tomorrow, His Excellency will join me in the 60th Independence Day celebrations of the Maldives. Today, we have jointly released a commemorative stamp to mark the 60th anniversary of establishment of formal diplomatic relations between the Maldives and India. This afternoon, Prime Minister Modi and I had extensive discussions. We reflected on the successes of our shared development journey, and we charted a clear path for future cooperation. Expanding our cooperation, Prime Minister Modi and I had the honor of witnessing the exchange of 4 MOUs and 3 agreements on several key areas. Among these include a line of credit agreement of $565 million. This LOC will be utilized for priority projects of my government across key sectors including defense, sports, healthcare, education, and housing. I'm also pleased to announce the initiation of negotiations for a free trade agreement between India and the Maldives. This landmark initiative marks a significant step forward in strengthening our economic partnership. We appreciate the pivotal role played by India in supporting the Maldives to manage economic and liquidity challenges through $400 million currency swap facility and interest-free 1-year rollover of the Treasury bill in May 2025. India's continued assistance to the Maldives through the export of essential commodities is a key facet of our bilateral cooperation under the long-standing trade agreement. Today we inaugurated a key project funded under the India's line of credit assistance, Adu Roads project. Prime Minister and I reviewed the progress of ongoing line of credit projects and high-impact community development projects. Our flagship Greater Malay connectivity project, once completed, will stand as a lasting symbol of enduring partnership between the Maldives and India. Later today, Prime Minister and I will be inaugurating Dosimena building, developed with Indian grant assistance. This assistance is a testament to this partnership. I express my sincere appreciation to India for the provision of 72 vehicles to the Maldives National Defence Force. The handover of the remaining 3,300 housing flats from the 4,000 housing units project marks a major step forward in my government's policy in addressing housing needs across the Maldives. I thank the Government of India for its role as the Maldives' principal partner in the health sector. The donation of medical cubes is a critical asset for a geographically dispersed nation like the Maldives. India remains a key source market for Maldivian tourism. We discussed ways to expand this vital sector through enhanced cooperation and connectivity, including commencement of direct flights to further enhance this connectivity. On environmental cooperation, we explored opportunities for technical support and capacity building in waste management, biodiversity conservation, renewable energy, and water and sanitation. The Maldives will extend its full support for India as the host of COP33. We confidently recognize India's capability to lead global efforts towards a successful and impactful outcome. Our people-to-people connections have long been the foundation of the relationship between the Maldives and India. Through cultural exchanges, tourism, education, and familial bonds, we continue to strengthen mutual understanding and goodwill between our nations. Looking ahead, we are fully committed to further strengthen our cooperation with India across a broad range of sectors through exchange of high-level visits. Prime Minister Modi, I once again thank you for your commitment to enhancing the close ties between the Maldives and India. I wish both our nations continued growth, prosperity, and harmony. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. May I now invite Prime Minister Narendra Modi to deliver his remarks.
Your Excellency, राष्ट्रपति जी, दोनों देशों के डेलीगेट्स, मीडिया के साथियों, नमस्कार। सबसे पहले सभी भारतवासियों की ओर से मैं राष्ट्रपति जी और मालदीव के लोगों को स्वतंत्रता के 60 वर्षों की ऐतिहासिक वर्षगांठ पर हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। इस ऐतिहासिक अवसर पर गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर के रूप में आमंत्रित करने के लिए मैं राष्ट्रपति जी का हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। इस साल भारत और मालदीव अपने राजनयिक संबंधों के भी 60 साल मना रहे हैं, परंतु हमारे संबंधों की जड़ें इतिहास से भी पुरानी है और समुद्र जितनी गहरी है। आज जारी किया गया डाक टिकट, जिसमें दोनों देशों की पारंपरिक नौकाएं हैं, दर्शाता है कि हम केवल पड़ोसी नहीं हैं, सहयात्री भी हैं। फ्रेंड्स, भारत मालदीव का सबसे करीबी पड़ोसी है। मालदीव भारत की नेबरहुड फर्स्ट पॉलिसी और महासागर विजन दोनों में एक अहम स्थान रखता है। भारत को मालदीव का सबसे भरोसेमंद मित्र होने पर भी गर्व है। आपदा हो या महामारी, भारत हमेशा फर्स्ट रिस्पॉन्डर बनकर साथ खड़ा रहा है। एसेंशियल कमोडिटीज उपलब्ध कराने की बात हो या कोविड के बाद अर्थव्यवस्था को संभालना, भारत ने हमेशा साथ मिलकर काम किया है। फॉर अस इट इज ऑलवेज फ्रेंडशिप फर्स्ट। फ्रेंड, पिछले साल अक्टूबर में राष्ट्रपति जी की भारत यात्रा के दौरान हमने व्यापक आर्थिक और समुद्री सुरक्षा साझेदारी का विजन साझा किया था। अब यह रियलिटी बन रहा है और उसी का परिणाम है कि हमारे संबंध नई ऊंचाइयों को छू रहे हैं। कई सारी परियोजनाओं का लोकार्पण संभव हुआ है। भारत के सहयोग से बनाए गए 4000 सोशल हाउसिंग यूनिट्स अब मालदीव में कई परिवारों के लिए नई शुरुआत बनेंगे, नया आशियाना होंगे। ग्रेटर माले कनेक्टिविटी प्रोजेक्ट, अडू रोड डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट और रीडेवलप किए जा रहे हनी माधु अंतर्राष्ट्रीय हवाई अड्डे से ये पूरा क्षेत्र एक महत्वपूर्ण ट्रांजिट और आर्थिक केंद्र बनकर उभरेगा। जल्द ही फेरी सिस्टम की शुरुआत से अलग अलग आइलैंड्स के बीच आवागमन और आसान होगा। उसके बाद आइलैंड्स के बीच दूरी जीपीएस से नहीं, सिर्फ फेरी टाइम से मापी जाएगी। हमारी डेवलपमेंट पार्टनरशिप को नई उड़ान देने के लिए हमने मालदीव के लिए $565 मिलियन यानी लगभग 5000 करोड़ रुपए की लाइन ऑफ क्रेडिट देने का निर्णय लिया है। यह मालदीव के लोगों की प्राथमिकताओं के अनुरूप यहां के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के विकास से जुड़ी परियोजनाओं के लिए इस्तेमाल ली जाएगी। फ्रेंड्स, हमारी आर्थिक साझेदारी को गति देने के लिए हमने कई कदम उठाए हैं। आपसी निवेश को गति देने के लिए हम शीघ्र ही बायलैटरल इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रीटी फाइनलाइज करने की दिशा में काम करेंगे। फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट पर भी बातचीत शुरू हो गई है। अब हमारा लक्ष्य है फ्रॉम पेपर वर्क टू प्रॉस्पेरिटी। लोकल करेंसी सेटलमेंट सिस्टम से रुपये और रुपया में सीधे व्यापार कर सकेंगे। जिस रफ्तार से यूपीआई को मालदीव में बढ़ावा मिल रहा है, इससे टूरिज्म और रिटेल दोनों को ताकत मिलेगी। फ्रेंड्स, रक्षा और सुरक्षा क्षेत्र में आपसी सहयोग आपसी विश्वास का परिचायक है। रक्षा मंत्रालय की बिल्डिंग, जिसका आज उद्घाटन किया जा रहा है, यह ट्रस्ट की कंक्रीट इमारत है। हमारी मजबूत साझेदारी का प्रतीक है। हमारी साझेदारी अब वेदर साइंस में भी होगी। मौसम चाहे जैसा हो, आवर फ्रेंडशिप विल ऑलवेज रिमेन ब्राइट एंड क्लियर। मालदीव की रक्षा क्षमताओं के विकास में भारत निरंतर सहयोग देता रहेगा। हिंद महासागर क्षेत्र में शांति, स्थिरता और समृद्धि हमारा साझा लक्ष्य है। कोलंबो सिक्योरिटी कॉन्क्लेव में साथ मिलकर हम रीजनल मैरीटाइम सिक्योरिटी को मजबूत बनाएंगे। क्लाइमेट चेंज हम दोनों के लिए बड़ी चुनौती है। हमने तय किया है कि रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी को बढ़ावा देंगे। इस क्षेत्र में भारत अपना अनुभव मालदीव के साथ साझा करेगा। एक्सेलेंसी, एक बार फिर इस ऐतिहासिक अवसर पर मैं आपको और मालदीव के नागरिकों को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं और गर्मजोशी भरे स्वागत के लिए आप सभी का धन्यवाद करता हूं। मैं आपको पुनः आश्वस्त करता हूं कि मालदीव के विकास और समृद्धि के लिए भारत हर कदम पर साथ रहेगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen of the press. This concludes the press engagements for today.
Several takeaways there from the joint statement issued by India and Maldives. And the biggest message is that India is lending a helping hand to Maldives, helping them in defense, in also going ahead and providing them any credit as far as other steps are concerned, like housing schemes. That's something also that India is helping with. So with the Vikas vision of Maldives, India plays a big role in that. And that's something that's been sealed with the MOUs and in the bilateral that's just culminated between India and Maldives. This has been a trip, really, a tour by the Prime Minister to Maldives that's been unprecedented. Several takeaways, and mind you, you're seeing a complete U-turn in really the relationship between India and Maldives. From a freeze in ties to now, the warmth that you see between the two leaders. We've come a long way in the India-Maldives story, pushed largely because of the diplomacy in how India has really handled Maldives getting close to China and Maldives' continuous intimidations. How have we done that? very, very clear in the messaging that's come out from India that we will do that by providing financial help to Maldives, helping them with housing projects and other such initiatives that help in the development of this island nation. But the big breaking news that's coming in, Prime Minister Modi in that address there, in the joint statement right after MOUs, has said very clearly that India is a friend that stands by Maldives, will help Maldives in every way, and says no, Maldives isn't just a neighbor. Maldives is a co-traveler with us. I'll bring in on this broadcast Nahuda Faiz. She's joining us from Malé in Maldives. We also have Pranay Upadhyay of India Today Global on this broadcast. Nahuda, I'd like to begin with you on the big takeaways from the joint statement that's just been issued. Lots of big headlines for India, for Maldives as well.
Right. Thank you. I'll take it from here. Well, these MOUs that have been just signed, I clearly see it as a very strategic deepening of ties, which is beyond the surface. The signing of these 8 memoranda of understanding and agreements marks a strategic turning point, as you mentioned, with implications reaching far beyond ceremonial diplomacy. And I'd like to highlight why this matters for Maldives and what it could mean for both the countries. So obviously, big money means bigger trust with the 4,850 50 crore Indian rupees, the line of credit. So it's a financial commitment. This is not just aid, it's a declaration of long-term trust. So the funding is expected to bolster infrastructure, connectivity and housing, and also, as Prime Minister mentioned, renewable energy initiatives in the island nation. So in geopolitical terms, it's India countering China's growing footprint in the region with development-led diplomacy. I see it that way. And also a debt deal that comes with a message. So the mandatory agreement easing Maldives' annual debt repayment obligation signals India's responsiveness to economic distress in its neighborhood. So in an era where debt-trap diplomacy is under scrutiny, India's gesture is as much about goodwill as it is about offering an alternative development model. So I think laying the groundwork for a free trade agreement.
You're right, Nahuda. In a sense, what India is doing is ensuring that Maldives isn't as reliant on China. But it's also important to highlight the messaging from Prime Minister Modi there. When Pranay, Prime Minister Modi speaks of the friendship between India and Maldives, it's to send across a message clearly to the likes of China that Maldives is our neighbor and on our side.
Absolutely a big message, Akshita, here that we are co-travelers. We are together in this journey, and India is ready to share the fruits and benefits of its development with a small island nation, Maldives, but very important, very significant, and the vision of Mahasagar, promoted by and mooted by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the mutual growth and security for everyone, his idea for the Indian Ocean neighbors and Indian Ocean partners of India. This clearly is a big message for the people of Maldives as well. And if you see the agreements, if you see the list of deliverables here, not only the high impact community development projects like 3,300 housing projects to 4,580 crore INR worth of line of credit. Line of credit is basically a financial assistance to Maldives with which they can carry out the development work of their choice, and India will be providing the financial assistance for their development projects. Besides that, India has also delivered 72 heavy vehicles for the Ministry of Defence. You must have seen the visuals from the Ministry of Defence, Akshita. It's a very remarkable change in the capital city of Malé, where everything, a few months ago, everything revolved around the presence of Indian defence personnel on the Maldivian soil. And now the newly constructed building of the Ministry of Defence of Maldives has a huge picture of Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. So this is the kind of change we witnessed in Maldives. And definitely with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit, India and Maldives have agreed to launch a free trade agreement negotiation. This is a very big thing. People of Maldives were looking forward for these things. They were asking for these kind of arrangement with Indian economy, and any integration of Maldivian economy with India is certainly going to be very beneficial for the people of Maldives.
All right, Pranay, thanks very much for joining us with those details. Pranay, they're breaking down some of the big highlights from really the MOUs and the takeaways from the bilateral. One important one is the fact that you're going to see negotiations and talks kick off between India and Maldives for a free trade agreement. That's a game changer for Maldives if it comes through. So an important one there that we will track very, very closely. Pranay, as well as Nahuda, thanks very much for joining us on this broadcast. So you saw the joint statement there between Prime Minister Modi and Muizu, both the statements very clearly saying that India and Maldives going forward remain strong friends, and it's important messaging that's come across. All right, let's get to now our top focus here on Super 6, talking about really what's happening in Karnataka, where you've had this chorus by the Congress that the Election Commission, even in Karnataka, did not conduct a fair election, that there was manipulation of votes. Rahul Gandhi said it. It's been backed by the likes of DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah, who seem to suggest that in one seat where they analysed the data, there were clear issues that emerged in the numbers that they had put out. Let's get your details first in our report.
The battlefields may have expanded, but the battle remains the same. Rahul Gandhi and the Election Commission continue to be locked in a fierce war of words. This time, the flashpoint is Karnataka. And the allegation? Electoral fraud, vote tampering, and institutional bias. Leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi has accused the Election Commission of cheating during the Lok Sabha polls in Karnataka and claims to have 100% proof.
Now we have concrete 100% proof of Election Commission allowing cheating in a seat in Karnataka. Not 90%. When we decide to show it to you, it is 100% proof. Okay? And we just looked at one constituency and we found this. If you think you're going to get away with this, if your officers think you're going to get away with this, you're mistaken. You're not going to get away with it because we are going to come for you.
His remarks have triggered a political avalanche, with Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar backing him fully. Both the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister have echoed similar sentiments, alleging that the Congress lost in Karnataka due to illegal electoral fraud.
It is our KPCC research team. From the day one, we were just working out on this because we were very shocked to hear and know about the result and what has happened. He has come out and we stand by the statement.
The counter-attack on the Congress has been double-barreled. On one hand, the Election Commission has hit back, accusing the leader of opposition of threatening a constitutional body. On the other, the BJP has accused the Congress of being desperate for power and attempting to malign democratic institutions.
Congress is trying to desperately come to power, but the people of this country and also Karnataka, they are matured enough. People of this country wants a non-corrupt administration at the center. Hence, they are convinced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, they are convinced with his style of administration.
As a storm brews, the question remains, will this end in court, in proof, or in political noise? For now, it is a war of claims, with democracy caught in the crossfire. Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let's bring in Sagaraj, who's joining us live from Bengaluru with more details on this. Sagar, seemingly, from what DK Shivkumar has said, the seat that the Congress is referring to here is the Bangalore rural constituency, which the Congress was very surprised by when they lost that particular seat. It's a seat that usually is represented by DK Suresh, DK Shivkumar's brother. But has there been any evidence, because it isn't the first time they've alleged this, have they ever put out any proof or evidence to back their claim of, votes being manipulated in the seat?
So till today, they haven't spoken about this. Only after Rahul Gandhi made these kind of allegations, stating that he has enough proof to prove that the election was stolen, there were vote thefts which has happened, and especially in Karnataka, he has enough proof to prove that these malpractice has been done. Following that, all the leaders are speaking about this. Yesterday, DK Shivkumar, when he was in Bengaluru, he made a similar kind of statement, stating that there was a huge golmaal which has happened in Bengaluru or rural constituency. That is his hometown and his home district. So he went on to say that there was malpractice where people had involved in malpractice and vote theft. And he said that they are investigating further and they will get enough proof to prove that how the malpractice was being done. And they stand by Rahul Gandhi's statement.
Okay, Sagai, thanks for those details. Let's move on and get your news from Tamil Nadu, where in fact the political war is intensifying ahead of the elections in the state in 2026 April. The DMK and AIADMK are sharpening their attacks. Edappadi Palaniswamy, speaking exclusively to India Today, has spoken about his new campaign in Tamil Nadu. He's called it lies and deceit, essentially targeting in fact the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam's track record in government. The AIADMK's campaign claims the ruling party has failed to deliver on key poll promises, complete with a symbolic spin the wheel board and scratch cards. Hours earlier, Deputy Chief Minister Udayanidhi Stalin had lashed out at AIADMK, claiming that Edappadi Palaniswamy has no control over his party and also lashing out at the NDA, calling them fascist.
எல்லாரோட தமிழ்நாட்டு மக்களோட வீட்டு கதவெல்லாம் போய் தட்டிக்கிட்டு இருக்கு அப்படின்னு நான் ஏற்கனவே பதில் சொன்னேன். திரு எடப்பாடி பழனிசாமி அவர்களே, நாங்கள் உங்களை மாதிரி அமித்ஷா வீட்டு கதவையோ கமலாலய வீட்டு கதவையோ சுற்றுத்தரமா போய் தட்டல. ஏன்னா எடப்பாடி பழனிசாமியோட கண்ட்ரோல்ல அதிமுகவே கிடையாது. இப்படிப்பட்ட அடிமைகளையும் பாசிஸ்டுகளையும் நாம் நிச்சயம் வீழ்த்த வேண்டும். அந்த முக்கியமான பொறுப்பு பூத் நிர்வாகிகள் உங்க கையில் தான் இருக்கு. ஒரு வாக்கு கூட தவறாக கொள்ளக்கூடாது. ஏன்னா இது மிக மிக முக்கியமான தேர்தல். தமிழ்நாட்டுடைய மண் மொழி மானம் காப்பதற்கான தேர்தல்.
நான் கதவத்தட்லையும் சரி, இன்றைக்கு இருக்கிற முதலமைச்சரும் இதே உதயநிதி ஸ்டாலினும் பிரைம் மினிஸ்டர் கதவு தட்டுனாங்கல்ல, அது யாருடைய கதவு தட்டினாங்க? அவர்கள் கதவு தட்டினா சரி. நாங்க போய் ஒரு உள்துறை அமைச்சரை சந்திச்சா தப்பு. இந்திய நாட்டுடைய உள்துறை அமைச்சர் தானே அவரு, வேற யாரும் இல்ல. இதுல என்ன தவறுங்க எனக்கு புரியல.
உருட்டுகளும் திருட்டுகளும் இன்னைக்கு ஒரு கேம்பெயின் கூடவே சேர்த்து பண்ணிருக்கீங்களே, இதோடைய காரணம் என்ன சார்?
இதனுடைய காரணம் என்ன? மக்கள் வெளிச்சத்தை கொண்டாடணும். திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகம் கொடுக்கப்பட்ட வாக்குறுதிகள் நிறைவேற்றப்பட்டதா சொல்றாங்க. அது மக்கள் தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டோம். அதுக்காகத்தான் இந்த உருட்டு.
என்ன லிஸ்ட் இதுல 10 இது கொடுத்திருக்கீங்க? இதுலயா
அதில் கொடுத்ததை கொடுத்திருக்கிறோம்.
அது ஒரு மார்க் போட
முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தில் 525 அறிவிப்புகள் கொடுத்திருக்கிறாங்க. அதில் சிலவற்றை கொடுத்திருக்கிறோம். இன்னும் பெரும்பாலும் இருக்குது. இன்னும் பெரும்பாலும் 525 கிட்டத்தட்ட அவர்கள் 99% நிறைவேற்றப்பட்டிருக்காங்க. அது எல்லாம் இருந்தாலும் 10 முக்கிய கொடுத்திருக்கிறோம். அதில் அவருடைய மக்களுடைய விருப்பத்தை இதில் வெளிப்படுத்தணும். மக்கள் தான் நீதிபதி, மக்கள் தான் வாக்களிக்கிறாங்க, ஒரு அரசாங்கத்தை தேர்ந்தெடுக்கிறாங்க. அவருடைய விருப்பம், அவருடைய முடிவு என்ன என்பதை அறிவதற்காக இந்த விளம்பரத்தாலே ஒப்படைக்கிறோம்.
Okay, over to news from Kerala. This was a very shocking case that emerged from Kerala's Kannur of a jailbreak. A convict in a rape and murder case was found missing from his high security cell early this morning. And soon after, it was confirmed that authorities, in fact, confirmed that he escaped by cutting through the iron bars, scaling the prison wall, despite having only one arm. He'd planned this reportedly for weeks, managed to get away. Where was the security, one would ask? Clearly, none of that was there because he managed to leave the prison without any problems. But soon after that, police launched a massive search operation, alerting officials across Kerala and neighbouring states. But hours later, fortunately, the convict that we're talking about, identified as Govindaswamy, was discovered hiding in a well near an abandoned building within the Kannur city limits. He hadn't managed to get far away, but this is footage from right after he was nabbed once again by police officials. This is also CCTV footage that the police released that showed him walking rather casually right after escaping from prison. Locals assisted the police in catching him, and this man is back in custody. But obviously, it raises a lot more questions on the kind of security that was there in this prison. The officials have confirmed that they've now launched an investigation to find out exactly how this convict managed to get out so easily.
ഞാനതിപ്പോൾ കുറച്ച് മുന്നേ തന്നെ ഇത് വിവരം അറിഞ്ഞത്. ഏതൊരു ചാനലിൽ വിളിച്ചിട്ടാണ് ഞാൻ ആ വിവരങ്ങൾ അറിയണത്. അപ്പോൾ പിന്നെ ഞാൻ ചോദിക്കുന്ന ഒരു ചോദ്യം എന്തല്ല, ഈ ഇത്രയും വലിയ കണ്ണൂർ ജയിൽ പറഞ്ഞ വലിയ ഒരു ജയിലാണ്. ആ ജയിൽ ഇവനെ എങ്ങനെ എടുത്ത് ചാടി? ഇവനൊരു സപ്പോർട്ട് ഒരാളില്ലാതെ ഇവൻ അത് ചെയ്യില്ല. ഈ ഇത്രയും വലിയൊരു ജയിലിൽ നിന്ന് ഇവൻ എടുത്ത് ചാടണമെങ്കിൽ അതിന് ഒരാളില്ലാതെ ഒരിക്കലും അവനതിന് കഴിയില്ല. 15 കൊല്ലായി. അപ്പൊ അത് ഇതിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ ആരോ അവന് സപ്പോർട്ടായിട്ട് നിൽക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അത് കാരണം കൊണ്ടാണ് ഇവൻ ഈ ജയിലിൽ ചാടിയത്. അല്ലാതെ ഈ ഇത്രയും വലിയൊരു മതില് ഈ ഒരു ഒറ്റക്കൈക്കാരനല്ലേ, എന്ത് വന്നാലും അവൻ ഒറ്റക്കൈക്കാരനല്ലേ. അവൻ ഇത്രയും വലിയൊരു മതിലെടുത്ത് ചാടണമെങ്കിൽ ഇത്തിരി പണിയുണ്ട് അവൻ. അപ്പൊ അവനൊരാൾ ഇതിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിലുണ്ട്. അവൻ എത്ര പെട്ടെന്ന് അതിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ പിടിച്ചിട്ടില്ല. അവന് കണ്ണൂർ വിടാനുള്ള സമയം അവനായിട്ടില്ല.
A notorious convict, he broke the jail. Now he is captured by the police. But we have been making allegation against the Kannur jail because all the CPM murderers, convicts, are staying in the jail, Kannur jail. So the government and the CPM has been protecting these convicts for a long time.
Police has received information at around 6:30 a.m. regarding the prison escape of accused. Police has conducted a very detailed search after the incident. Following that, we were receiving a lot of information regarding the possible locations of hideouts. Following that, the police conducted a search and cordoning operation, which resulted in the apprehension of the accused within a span of 4 hours.
Actor, politician Kamal Haasan has made his parliamentary debut today, taking oath as a Rajya Sabha member. The Makkal Nidhi Mayam chief delivered his oath in Tamil, and that itself tells you what kind of messaging he was putting forth. Now, his entry into the upper house marks a significant milestone in his political journey. Kamal Haasan was nominated to the Rajya Sabha with, of course, the support of the Dravidian Munnetra Kazhagam. Here's details of exactly what transpired in the Rajya Sabha.
அவையின் உறுப்பினராக தேர்ந்தெடுக்கப்பட்டிருக்கும் கமல் ஹாசன் எனும் நான்.
An acting legend and now a parliamentarian. Kamal Haasan on Friday entered the Rajya Sabha as a member of the parliament. The Makkal Nidhi Mayam chief took oath in Tamil, greeted by table thumping from fellow MPs.
விழிமிய முறைமையுடன் உறுதி கூறுகிறேன். வணக்கம்.
Kamal Haasan then greeted the House with a Vanakkam, again putting the focus on his Tamil identity. India Today caught up with the superstar politician briefly outside the parliament.
What would you like to say, sir?
Nothing. I'll say it all in the parliament.
Kamal sir, but sir, congratulations to you, sir. You are beginning your new career, sir. Just one comment, sir.
One comment, sir.
From founding M&M in 2018 to contesting the 2021 Assembly elections and now entering the parliament, Kamal Haasan's political journey has taken turns that perhaps he didn't see coming himself. Haasan was nominated to the Rajya Sabha last month, backed by the DMK, despite his party not having a single MLA in the Tamil Nadu Assembly. His unopposed election was sealed through the ruling party's support, reflecting a deepening alliance between the M&M and the DMK ahead of the 2026 elections. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Stalin congratulated Kamal Haasan for the new chapter in his political life. Kamal's M&M cadre celebrated their leader's Rajya Sabha entry.
That's his party cadre over there, standing by him, cheering for him in his Alvarpit's Makkal Nidhi Mayam office. Big day for Mr. Kamal Haasan as he walks down the aisle to his seat, to his Rajya Sabha seat. A big day indeed for him.
While Kamal Haasan has now stepped into the national political spotlight, questions loom on what this means for Kamal's Tamil Nadu ambitions and where his party will stand in the 2026 elections. Bureau Report, India Today.
So Kamal Haasan, of course, has come a long way in his political journey. February 21st, 2018 is when, in fact, the Ulaganayagan, as he's called, actually launched the Makkal Nidhi Mayam with a promise of political reform. From taking on Tamil Nadu's Dravidian giants, he contested the elections, to now actually joining hands with one of the parties that he said he was rivaling against. He was taking on the DMK. Now Kamal Haasan is a member of the Rajya Sabha. What does this actually mean for the Makkal Needhi Mayam? What does this mean for Kamal Haasan? Will he no longer be a part of electoral politics? All that and more in our next report.
தேவையை உருவாக்கியவர்கள் நீங்கள், மக்கள் நீதி மையத்தை உருவாக்கியவர்கள் அவர்கள், அதை நடத்தப் போவர்கள் நீங்கள். வாழிய பல்லாண்டு, வாழிய செந்தமிழ், வாழ்க நற்றமிழர், வாழிய பாரத மணித் திருநாடு.
February 21st, 2018. A new chapter, a new beginning for Kamal Haasan. The acting legend became a nervous newbie once again as he ventured into the unknown, the big bad world of politics. Kamal spoke of change, of taking on the deeply rooted Dravidian parties in Tamil Nadu. His party, Makkal Needhi Mayam, which translates to People's Justice Center.
நாம் துவங்கி இருக்கும் நியாய போரின் தமிழரின் படை. இந்த கூட்டத்தின் தலைவன் அல்ல நான், தொண்டன் என்பதை ஞாபகம் வைத்துக் கொள்ளுங்கள். தாழ்மையான வேண்டுகோள் அல்ல, தமிழன் என்ற முறையில் நாமே நமக்கு நாம் இட்டுக் கொள்ள வேண்டிய உத்தரவு.
He unveiled his party flag, which featured 6 interlinked hands around a star, symbolizing unity across South Indian states. All this indicated Kamal Haasan had a clear ideology: reformist, anti-corruption, centrist.
ஆதிக்கவாதிகளும் வேண்டாம், அடிமைகளும் வேண்டாம். ஊழல் இல்லாத ஆட்சி மீண்டும் அமைந்திட फिर एक மோடி சர்க்கார். மறுபடியும் முதல்ல இருந்து. நீ யாரடா அதெல்லாம் கேட்கறதுக்கு? நீ நடிக, களத்துல இறங்கி பார், அப்ப புரியும் சொன்னாங்க.
And then came the first electoral test for Kamal Haasan. The Makkal Needhi Mayam contested its first election in 2019, Indian general election with the torch symbol. Despite not winning any seats, his party secured approximately 3.72% of the total votes polled in Tamil Nadu, with its highest vote share in urban constituencies like Coimbatore, where it garnered over 10% of the vote. And so, Kamal strategically chose the Coimbatore South seat for his electoral debut.
The Tamil Nadu is not for sale. Tamil Nadu people are not for sale, and nor are their votes. And people are now sort of echoing the thoughts by on the social media and other places. They even have boards outside their house saying that their votes are not for sale. When people ask me, are you here to seize power? That's also disturbing for me in a democracy. And for us, the process of getting into the Chief Minister's chair is not the end itself. It's a means to an end that we envision, that is a $1 trillion economy for Tamil Nadu. Slowly over the time, at least in Tamil Nadu, has been forgotten. It's not seizing power, it's not staying in power, but the service of people is totally forgotten. And if you're talking about my being nascent in politics, it's not fully true, because I've been doing what is primarily the right thing to do in politics in service of people.
He was in for a rude shock though. His debut, unlike his films, tanked. And Kamal Haasan came second to BJP's Vanathi Srinivasan. And with that, his party descended into a downward spiral. Kamal Haasan continued his career with Vikram, Indian 2 and other films. And for his party, a deal with the DMK was sealed before the 2024 elections. Chief Minister Stalin welcomed Kamal with the DMK fold. Kamal Haasan now has entered the Rajya Sabha, but his regional aspirations seem to have now taken a backseat. Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let's bring in on this broadcast analyst Sumansi Raman, political commentator and analyst, is joining us on this broadcast. We also have Mr. Shekhar Iyer, senior journalist, with us here. Thank you very much for your time. Vanakkam to both of you. Mr. Sumansi Raman, I'd like to begin with you. What do you make of Kamal Haasan now making this entry into parliament? Effectively, does this mean that his party, the Makkal Needhi Mayam, has been swallowed whole by the DMK?
Yeah, I think it's a massive disappointment for those who believed that he was going to be one of those who promised change. You know, he came in, and if you his whole approach was that he was going to be the alternative to the two Dravidian parties, and it didn't take him, you know, even a couple of years to sort of throw in the towel and sign up with the DMK. Look, we always knew his ideology was more along the Dravidian ideology lines. But still, the fact that he would not even raise his voice when, when required against acts of omission and commission by the DMK government, that was a real letdown. And I think people lost faith in him. People lost faith in his party the moment he began cozying up to the DMK in the manner he did. Then he went for an alliance for the 2024 election, and this is the payback. Basically, the alliance was, he agreed to join the DMK alliance, and his party did not contest any seats in that election.
Yeah.
The quid pro quo was that he would be given a Rajya Sabha seat, and that has been honored now. So, for all practical purposes, I would see this as the end of his political career. Though, I mean, it's like having a nominated MP in the Rajya Sabha. Technically, he may not be a nominated MP, but that's what it is.
Yeah, Mr. Shekhar Iyer, let me bring you in also on this. But was this essentially the best case scenario for Kamal Haasan, that he enters into parliament, looking at how really he fared in the 2021 elections?
Akshita, I think for him, this is the best deal he could have got. But just as Dr. Sumant Raman mentioned, it's a huge disappointment and for his cadre, for his workers. Because in the 2021 election, he had put up candidates in all the 234 constituencies. Yeah. Of course, all of them lost deposit. That's another thing. But for a nascent party which started on a principled approach, fighting corruption, and finally ending up being a DMK ally, that has completely cost his credibility as a politician. And not only among the people in general, but particularly among his own people, his own young people who got attracted to him. So therefore, I think this is the best, as has been mentioned. It was a deal. Definitely, it was a deal. And he was worried in the midway that whether DMK would honor that commitment, that they would send him to the upper house. And that's why you saw him meeting the Tamil Nadu Deputy Chief Minister, Udaynithi Stalin, number of times. Yep. And finally, when the vacancies arose, he got the nomination. He had one more request, that he should be an independent backed by DMK. I think that is a request they agreed to. So he's an independent candidate who was backed by the DMK and got elected to the Rajya Sabha.
But what difference does it really make? Because I think the messaging is very clear here that Kamal Haasan is clearly tied to the DMK, and going into the 2026 elections, Sumansi Raman, there's going to be no Makkal Needhi Mayam presence. There's going to be no Kamal Haasan presence, albeit perhaps a few campaigns where he is essentially the star campaigner.
Absolutely. Technically, the party still exists. On paper, the party exists, but most of the cadre and most of the senior leaders have all left quite some time back, quite disillusioned with him. Look, the irony is, Akshita, Kamal Haasan is such a tall actor. He's one of the finest actors in the history of Indian cinema. Had he said, I would like to go to the Rajya Sabha, all the parties in Tamil Nadu would have been happy to support him.
Agreed, yeah.
That is the tragedy. Instead, he has tarnished his reputation, ruined his name by throwing in his lot with the DMK in the manner he did. He could have done this without, throwing a torch at and breaking the TV ad which he put out, saying that this is my anger against corruption. And then you sign up with the DMK in less than 2 years.
No, but where do you think it went wrong, Sumansi Raman? Do you think it was just miscalculated by Kamal Haasan? Did he think politics would be much easier? Was he not willing to wait it out, put in the hard work for many more years to ensure that he tastes success? What was it?
No, he was largely a part-time politician. He was never a full-time politician, despite the fact that he had a political party to run. He would make more or less guest appearances. He was never there, throughout with his cadre on the campaign trail. It was always a kind of sporadic appearances And the fact that once it got through to the cadre that he was continuing to act in movies. So it was more a kind of a side distraction for him. And when he figured out that, politics is not that simple, that you can potentially get yourself elected as a chief minister by running running a party part-time. I think that is when reality started to hit. Then he thought, okay, what is the best exit option? The best exit option is to get a Rajya Sabha seat, sit in the upper house for a few years. You will have the visibility, you will have the profile, all of that. And he's now in his 70s. So what else can he ask for? And the
No, that's
party,
true.
I mean, those
He's
who
in several interviews said, I wish I had done this earlier, that he should have entered politics earlier. But Shekhar Iyer, do you think that if, Kamal Haasan hadn't taken this step and rather, roughed it out for a couple of years, tried this by going through it for the long run, do you think he could have tasted success in, let's say, not even 2026, but the next election after that, 2031 maybe?
Well, I don't know whether he had that kind of staying power, but definitely when he started out, people thought that probably they are going to see an alternative, to DMK, ADMK politics. They are going to see a new politics. But that unfortunately did not happen. And somewhere along, Kamal Haasan, who, as Dr. Raman was saying, is a great actor, but the problem was he had difficulty in communicating his political ideas and political ideology, because he appeared to be again a party which is, his ideas were more or less in tune with whatever has been there, the social justice, the Periyar philosophy and all that. And the only difference that he could bring was fighting corruption. But then finally he went and aligned with those very people who have been accused of corruption, right from Karnataka days. So therefore, as an alternative, he lost credibility. And second thing, I do not know whether in the coming assembly elections, he can, if he's serious about keeping his Makkal Nidhi Mayam going, whether he would ask for some seats to be given to his party as an alliance partner, I do not know that, and whether DMK would concede that demand. But in that case, perhaps, that show could go on for some more time if he is able to secure a few seats to contest for his party members.
No, but at this point, looks really unlikely that he has any skin in the game, or for that matter, any way to really bargain at this point with the DMK. The DMK seems to be calling the shots, Kamal Haasan merely agreeing to it. Having said that, right now, with what's happened with Kamal Haasan and the trajectory with him, there was a lot of hope that he is an alternative for the people to vote for. It didn't really go down that way, especially in the 2021 elections. There are going to be a lot of comparisons, Mr. Iyer, to what's happening right now. The fact that you have another superstar entering politics, Vijay, also who projects himself as an alternative. What lessons perhaps can a Vijay learn from what went wrong maybe with Kamal's dreams of becoming chief minister?
Well, I think one big lesson that Vijay can take is to see that he is consistent and remains in the field, no matter what is the outcome of 2026 elections. Because that one assembly election should not put off Vijay. But then Vijay, compared to Kamal Haasan, is a great mass contact leader. See, he doesn't speak in riddles. He doesn't speak in that kind of Tamil. He speaks in a very simple way. And he can connect with the common people. So if he can keep on doing that and not appear to be a B team of the DMK, or not appear to be somebody who is attempt to divide the opposition votes so as to help DMK have an easy win in 2026. If he can do that, then perhaps things can open up for him.
Age is on his side, unlike Kamal Haasan. Sumansi Raman, what do you think? What's happened with Kamal Haasan is another indication that not all superstars are successful in politics. They can't take their, fandom for granted. It doesn't necessarily translate to success in politics. And so for the likes of Vijay going into the next election where he's projected himself perhaps in a similar mold as Kamal did in 2021, what do you think is the biggest lesson he can take from what's happened with Kamal Haasan?
Look, before that, I think Kamal and Vijay are very, very different, perceived very differently by the audience. Kamal was always an actor for the classes, not so much for the masses. For the masses, we had Rajinikanth, and Kamal was more for the classes. Vijay, to a large extent, is with the masses. He's more a mass hero. So therefore, that particular difference will hold him in good stead. Having said that, I think what Vijay can learn from Kamal Haasan is you cannot do this part-time. you cannot, continue your acting and then make periodic political speeches and visits. So right now, Vijay has informed, the people that are from the next month onwards, or August or September onwards, he will, once he's finished the shooting for his next film Jananayagan, and therefore he will be on the campaign trail. So that's what we've been told. But so far, Vijay's appearances have also been sporadic. It's been a lot like how Kamal Haasan started off, with periodic, with a Manadu, and then speaking at periodic on issues.
But maybe the one difference is that Vijay said that no more films. He said that this is the end of his career, that, he's going to focus completely on politics. Maybe he's learnt that lesson already. But let's see really what Vijay's trajectory looks like. For Kamal Haasan, it definitely seems like it's the end of the road of electoral politics, at least personally for him. It remains to be seen what really happens of the Makkal Nidhi Mayam. But Dr. Sumansi Raman and Shekhar Iyer, thank you very much for your time and for joining us here on India Today. Like I said, in South India, in Tamil Nadu, we've seen a whole lot of actors, particularly superstars with these massive fan followings, with these armies, turn to politics. Naturally, you'd think it would mean a success story. Not necessarily. There are some, of course, who've turned out to be absolute legends, not just in films, but also otherwise in politics. And then there are others, the likes of Kamal Haasan, who haven't really managed to crack the code. In our next report, we decode for you some of those stars in Tamil Nadu who managed to make it big in politics and some who didn't.
There have been success stories, and many at that, of superstars who have become political legends. But there have also been others who failed to translate their fanfare to a voter bank. Think Kamal Haasan, or Rajnikant for that matter. Kamal Haasan chose to go solo in his first election battle. But he suffered a bitter defeat. His party, Makkal Nidhi Mayam, contested 154 out of 234 seats but failed to secure a single seat. Kamal was defeated in the Coimbatore South seat, losing out to BJP's Vanati Srinivasan. Kamal's party has literally been swallowed by the DMK now, and he's now a Rajya Sabha MP, his electoral dreams seemingly coming to an end. As per Rajnikant, it ended even before it began.
ஆதாயத்துக்காக நான் சப்போர்ட் பண்ணிருக்கேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அவங்க கிட்ட வந்து சொல்றது, அதுக்காக நான் வந்து ஒவ்வொரு எலெக்ஷன் வரும்போதும் என்னுடைய ஆதரவு யாருக்கும் இல்லை அப்படின்ற சூழ்நிலைக்கு நான் தள்ளப்படுறேன்.
But the success stories in Tamil Nadu have been stars who have become political legends. Puratchi Talaivar M.G. Ramachandran, a superstar who was adored by the masses, but MGR and Vijay's journey aren't the same. MGR entered politics with the DMK and then started the AIA-DMK, ensuring a roaring victory in the 1977 elections. J. Jayalalitha then followed MGR's footsteps. So in a party that was already making waves in Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha entered and fought her way to the top after MGR's demise. Now there's another attempt by a superstar to enter politics and be a success story. Thalapathy Vijay, who hopes to pull off an MGR-style victory.
உலகத்தரத்தில் டாக்டர்ஸ், இன்ஜினியர்ஸ், லாயர்ஸ்லாம் அதிகமாகவே இருக்காங்க. இங்கே நம்மக்கிட்ட என்ன இல்லை அப்படின்னா, இங்கே நமக்கு எது இன்னும் அதிகமாக தேவைப்படுது அப்படின்னா நல்ல தலைவர்கள். அது மட்டும் இல்லை, ஃப்யூச்சரில் அரசியலும் ஏன் வந்து ஒரு கரியர் ஆப்ஷனா வரக்கூடாது.
Superstars to supernetas has been a trend in Tamil Nadu. Kamal Haasan, however, hasn't been one of the lucky few electorally, but has now successfully entered the Rajya Sabha.